Trailblazer right now, and ever since I installed my deck right here, this Pioneer 8200 NEX, and the two kickers I ended up getting from Brian, they're I think they're 210s and like 1,000 watt amp. At night when the lights are on, I see the headlights dimming and the whole cluster dimming every time the bass hits, and nothing crazy, but it is noticeable. It's something I wanted to work on and see if I could help reduce. Yeah, I ended up purchasing this cable kit from PCM of NC. It comes with these three cables. The red one goes to the alternator to the battery. This one goes to, or one of these goes to the I think the power steering bracket to the battery. Then this one goes to the block, to the chassis somewhere. I think the instruction says the sway bar links. Comes with a couple of zip ties and decals, and then the two plugs you're gonna, or two, whatever you want to call them, that replace whatever goes into your battery right now. Then obviously with the set of instructions. So it's pretty straightforward on how to install, and I was trying to look for like a video just before I started doing it to get an idea of how to exactly do it, and I couldn't find any videos. There's one video out there of a guy who has it already installed, but there's two upgrades. You could do one that has two cables and one that has, so it's a positive and negative, and then the three cables I got, which is two negatives and one positive. But yeah, I wanted to look at a video and I couldn't find any, and the guy who posted a video of his already installed, it was just about nice to see that process. So this is one of the videos I'm making. It's gonna be like how-to video, because I couldn't find any videos out there, and hopefully if it helps someone out, it'll help someone out. But yeah, primarily do this to try to reduce the amount of dimming that occurs whenever the bass hits. Now I don't know all the science behind it, but hopefully it works. If it doesn't work, next step would be replacing the alternator. The battery's new. I don't know, capacitor. We'll look into that later. But let's give this a shot. Like I said, I just have, the only thing I've changed on here, electrical wise, is gonna be my deck, and then let me show you guys the subs. Just those two, the amp. That's all I've changed. So let's get to it. Alright, first thing you're going to want to do is remove this bolt with a 10mm. Well, remove that. This just pops up. Pulls up this way, then pull it out. Make sure you keep everything together. Next thing you're going to want to do is disconnect the battery, positive, negative. Don't do what I did. I just put the battery cable right there. I mean the power cable to my amp. Not the safest way to do it, but it's worked so far. So remove these two, and you're going to use an 8mm socket. Alright, next step is to remove this bolt that goes through here. So you push inwards while twisting it, and it should come out. They said it takes a little bit of a force, so let me see if I can do that. Alright, just so you guys can see what I'm doing, I'm using my thumb to push this side, and I'm using this to screw it out. I did that, came out. Now to do it to, I don't have to worry about doing it to the power side, or the positive side, just because I removed this a while back so I could fit this wire in. Next, you're going to remove this bolt right there. Bad lighting, but it's right here with the 13mm socket. Alright, run ahead and remove this bolt right here. I'm going to place it right there. And now we start installing these wires. So yeah, according to their documentation, the one I'm supposed to be using is the one. It's the longer black PCM of NC cable. The one with both eyelets facing the same way. One's slightly larger, and I'm guessing these are what they call eyelets, so that's facing this way, that's facing up too. So this is the one that's facing the same way. You can tell this one's facing one way, that one's facing the opposite way. So we're gonna go with this one. Alright, we went ahead and screwed that one in. I routed it under this hose right here, just because when it was on top it looked kind of weird, and then still plenty of room to mount it to the battery. Now we gotta remove this. I think that's a 10mm behind the alternator. Alright, we unscrewed it. Here it is. Wires under this boot, held on by this nut right here. And of course we're going to be using this red wire. Now I think I'm going to mount it underneath the boot. I think other people mount it on top of it, where this wire was on top. So something like that, but I don't want to get rid of this boot, so I'm going to write it at the bottom. Already got it on, looks something like that. This wire's here, factory wire, and the boot still kind of goes over it, I guess. Okay, we'll just route this one all the way to this side, tuck it in a little bit so it looks nicer. Let's do that. Alright, so here is the replacement bolt that you're going to be using. You place it in here. You do have to push it in a little bit, just because this plastic kind of grabs on the thread of this bolt. Not the thread, but this bolt part right here. We're gonna force it in. That's gonna hold that in place, and then the actual ground, the end of the ground cable, so the other side of this screws off, and then it will go inside there. All right, so I was gonna try to install this third wire, but the way my car's positioned on the driveway, I can't get up under there. Essentially a bolt right here, then you install it to the rear bolt of the sway bar. If I do end up doing that today, or whenever I do it, I'll definitely add it to this video or put another update, but I don't think I'll be able to do that right now. So let's go ahead and install these. And alright, I went ahead and put the red wire on first. And just for some clarification, please don't do what I'm doing with this power cable. I mean, I've done this for years and never had an issue. I got this extra red power cable tucked under these wires a little bit, bent this way, plugged right in there. Now I'm gonna place this one into the negative. Alright, went ahead and put the negative side on. Keep in mind, I put this terminal on first, the larger piece on first, before I plug in any of the additional wires. Alright, don't forget to put your engine cover back on. And then last thing, of course, is seeing if the car starts on again. The lights do. So, no problem. So, like I said, once I do figure out where this bottom one goes, once I move the truck and look around, I'll definitely post an update. That's if I get to it today. I mean, it looks pretty straightforward, but there's a lot of stuff in the way. You have to get under the car in order to access this bolt, and obviously that one. But like I said, if I do get to it today, it'll be in this video. If not, I'll post an update sometime. And then last thing, to check that, because I wired it like shit, make sure this still turns on. It does. Later on tonight, I'm gonna just take a drive and record, obviously, and see if we notice a difference. I know I didn't record when it was dimming, or before I installed these wires, but just so you guys can get a glimpse to see if it actually does work in my perspective, and see if it's working for me, and we'll take it from there. All right, what's up, everybody? Inside the Trailblazer, just like a couple days after installing the wires to help reduce the lights from dimming whenever like the bass hits, or just other small things, I noticed it did help a little bit. And when I mean a little bit, I mean a little bit when the bass hits while the car was going. So obviously the alternator is charging the battery a little bit faster because it's moving a lot faster. But other than that, it really didn't do much. So would I say it's worth it?
maybe if you got all the correct components. Don't want to put on the music right now, because I'll put on music, it's gonna get a fucking YouTube alert for copyrights, blah, blah, all that. But the easiest thing to show you guys to see that it is still dimming is when I lower the windows or pull them up. You'll see the dome lights, or all the lights dim. You see the cluster and the little lights right here, but I'll just kind of focus it in this area and you'll see if it dims. There you go. See, it flashes a little bit. Usually that happens when you push it up all the way to the top. That's where it gets dark. But even at that, you can still see it dimming when you push it down, and then obviously just when the base is hitting, you see it kind of like flickering and stuff like that. It's a lot less noticeable when I'm on like the freeway, but it's still there. So my train of thought now, I could be wrong, but is get a better alternator that push out some more power, or get a capacitor. It's not a big concern of mine, so I probably won't do that anytime soon. But I did want to do this video to show how to change those wires, and to see if it even worked. Obviously I still haven't put on the bottom wire, but even with what I'm pushing, the 210s and the 1000 watt amp, I didn't think it was gonna, I don't think I needed it. But hey, maybe I'll do like a quick update on one of my vlogs when I do put on that bottom wire, see if it does change anything. But as of right now, it is what it is. Till next time.